congratulations on your new film, Bad Hombres.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It means a lot.
Hey, you know what? It is I love these type of thrillers. I mean, it is how can you say it's so riveting. It's so, on the edge of your seat. But we have to hear it from you first is what initially drew you to this project for yourself?
I originally received the script and I watched John's work. I was like, man, this is a great director. We hopped on a phone call. Very cool guy. He knows everything and anything about cinema. His cinema IQ is like on a whole different level, right? And I read the script and I thought it was great. My only note was, I think maybe it should be in Spanish, right? Because I was like, I don't think this character and this other character, when they're alone in private, would be speaking in broken English. I was like, I think we should change it to Spanish. And I think that was a pretty bold choice looking back on it. My Spanish isn't even the greatest. So I had to really practice and really study and really dive into that with my father. And it was a challenge, but man, it was such a great experience, and I'm glad I did it. I think I grew a lot as an actor doing this project. So yeah, I'm really happy this project came about.
And I want to take note is the fact that this is almost an entirely speaking Spanish part for yourself, not the entire movie,
Yeah.
but but for yourself. What how much work did you have to do to get that dialect right? Because I know you were raised on this side of the border.
Yeah, no, I was born and raised in Southern California, probably born and raised over here. It took a lot of work, I think being Latin, being first generation in the United States, my first language at home was Spanish up until I was like maybe 4.5. But then you start kindergarten and you do first grade all the way to 12th grade, and English obviously becomes the more dominant language, right? So it took a lot of time and dedication. I was reading books out loud in Spanish. I was only talking in Spanish with my father. We went out to New Mexico a couple weeks earlier, and I was only talking in Spanish. I was like, Dad, if you talk to me in English, I was like, I'm not going to talk to you the whole day. So yeah, I mean, it just took a lot of practice, but once I was on set talking with Hemke Madera, it all kind of just fell into place. Um, but yeah, I mean, there were certainly some lines that I fumbled occasionally, and I was like, we got to do that again. Um, but man, it was an experience. I loved it.
Just for the fun of it, when you got into the character of the Spanish speaking part, were you thinking in Spanish or were you still thinking in English?
Ah, man, that's a good question. I don't even recall. I think it's sort of like a mixture. It's like not even thinking words, just actions and like feelings. I will say this though, I do love I actually do prefer acting in Spanish because it
Oh, really?
becomes so yeah, it becomes more so about like the feeling and the motion and like the behavior rather than the way like I sound and like you know what I mean? Like I feel like sometimes as an actor and speaking English, I'm like, okay, I gotta sound like a certain way. But when I'm talking in Spanish, I'm just like, man, this is who I am, this is what I am, and this is how I'm gonna like carry the behavior, at least for this project.
So maybe down the road, you're hoping for more Spanish speaking parts, hopefully.
Maybe yeah, maybe half Spanish, half English, yeah. Kind of like yeah, Spanglish roll.
Here's a little tidbit because you do say a few English words. Was it tough to try to say it in the Spanish dialect, the English?
Um, a little bit, but again, it wasn't too many words, like you said. It was very few. So it was mostly just responses. Um, but no, I think the hardest part was probably putting on that freaking fake blood up to my thigh in like the 20-degree weather in New Mexico. That was probably the most challenging part, but it was such a fun movie, such a fun project. John really put together such a great team on screen, behind the screen. And he truly was such a great captain on this film. Um, Again, he knows everything about cinema. So in between takes, we'd be talking about like movies and stuff, and he'd be like teaching me something new. But yeah, I've learned so much on this film. This was kind of like a little like master class for me in like cinema and filmmaking.
Now, to complete the Felix, I want to say this is the first time I've seen you not clean shaven. Tell,
Yeah.
tell us about the look you wanted to to complete with your character.
Yeah, no, for sure. So, um, yeah, I mean, he's coming in from Ecuador, he's coming in from Mexico, he's coming in from the borders, into the United States. Like, I just simply didn't see it possible for this guy to, get a clean shave, all groomed up, So I thought it'd be interesting to show him coming into the country and sort of seeing those long hours, seeing that long journey sort of wear on his face, right? I mean, even the bags, even like the chapped lips, right? Like that all would happen. Um, and on the actor side of it, I really just want to show range in my career, in my craft, in my work. I don't ever want to get pigeonholed into a certain type of character. Um, right now, I'm trying to explore as much as I can artistically with my work and take on different roles. I mean, the last movie I did, I was playing a police officer with the mustache. And the one before that, I was doing a Knights of the Zodiac, where I'm like this evil villain with a crazy haircut. So now it's cool. I get to grow out my hair for this movie and grow out my beard, and we'll see what I do for my next movie.
I love the fact that you reminded me that your character technically is from Ecuador because my goddaughter's from Ecuador. I'm gonna have to have her watch this film. It's because the fact is, from my understanding, Mexican and Ecuadorian, they speak their Spanish a little bit different. So so
It
it'll
is
be
different. Yeah. No, it is different. And to be completely honest, I did do a Mexican accent in this film just because the way I kind of broke down this character, obviously at the beginning of the film, he enters the country with his cousin who's Mexican. So I had this idea of like maybe he spent some time in Mexico for a couple months, put together that game plan of crossing the border, and in doing so, he picked up a slight Mexican accent. So I did, I try to keep as neutral as possible, but it might lean a little more towards the Mexican accent, which I did on purpose. Hopefully, no one gets mad over that.
so. And the character Felix, do you feel he's much more on the desperation end or on the greed end?
No, I would say he's desperate for sure. Definitely desperate. I think I mean, man, being desperate and greed, they kind of like walk the same line, right? Especially like when it's for your family. Um, I would say desperate. I would say it's not that he's trying to get away and steal all of this money. It's more so that he's this is the first time in his life that he's ever been presented with this much money in front of him. He's been shot in the leg. He wants to go back home and or he wants to get his family back over here and take care of them, provide for them. And I think any man would go the lengths to take care for their daughter, for their spouse, for their family. I think they would, a lot of men would do that. And I think he's battling the whole time through the movie, whether he should come clean about the money, whether he should come clean. And he actually does. He's like, Alfonso, I messed up. And then he gets interrupted by Thomas Jane coming in there. And then they take him to the vet. And then all that good stuff happens.
Do you- I mean, how do you feel being? I don't want to say your character was helpless because there are
I
plenty of
mean, he kind of was. He was shot in the leg. He was, I mean, I wouldn't be of much help if I got shot in the leg. I'd be like, oh man, I'm out. Tag me out, man.
no, but I mean it is funny is because you're in the film and everyone in their own way is a killer except for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. No, it was one of those things where it's sort of like innocence meeting I don't know, I don't even know the word to say. I guess those who became corrupted in life. And I
Hmm.
think it's an interesting dynamic to see such an innocent person go into this world where he thinks it's going to be, oh, we were just going there for work. Oh, it's just the day's job. And then it turns into a quest of survival. And it's like, he did not expect that at all, you know?
And how did it feel being in the cast of actors playing all these interesting characters around you?
So man, I've been watching these guys since I was a little kid. I mean, some of them have had a movie out before I was even born. So to be on a set with actors of this caliber, actors who are really putting up great work, um, actors who are a part of like major franchises, it was a it was a learning experience. I learned so much and I gained so much motivation coming off of this set. And I'm like, man, I've worked with these guys and I want to continue to work with people of this caliber. And I only want to get better and better in my craft and in my work. And hopefully I'm able to do that the next few years. And hopefully I could do another movie with John. John's the man. The freedom that he provides for his actors while still keeping them under structure was so liberating and so a fresh of breath air, because what it does is it allows you to just trust your instincts and your impulses, and then you get some really good takes.
Absolutely. And one major last thing, I always wanted to ask you because you've done a few of these type of movies before, and especially action sequences.
Mm.
How do you get in the mindset of playing a character in pain? Is that easy to turn on and off?
Oh man, that's a good one. So I think it's easy when you're in the moment, when you got the whole audience there and everybody's around you. It's like, man, there's no way I'm gonna let everybody down here. And especially when you got the special effects on, you got the fake blood, you got the props. I think it's sort of just you just gotta turn it on. I will say though, if it's like an audition or if it's like a green screen, that's when it gets kind of challenging because you're looking around. There's nothing going on. You're in a quiet room, just a green screen, a tennis ball there, and that's when it could get a little challenging. But nevertheless, we're actors. We're just playing make believe. So just make believe and have fun. I think that's the cheat code right there.
Well, we have to admit, Bad Hombres is a very fun movie for everyone to check it out. So, Diego, once again, thank you for talking to us again, and can't wait to talk to you on your next project.
But thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. Thank you.